As I'm sure many of you know, Chris Chan has been spotted numerous times after being released from jail. In the past month, we've had 5 different sightings of him around the town of Midlothian, Virginia, and around the extended area. At the Walmart, at a local card shop, and also seen walking around Chesterfield Mall. But just a couple days ago, we had a brand new sighting, 2 in fact, and we're gonna cover them both right here, right now. On May 27th, Chris would be photographed checking out at a store. And this image was posted May 29th to r/ChrisChanSonichu. See, this user is a cashier at the store, and being as they did not want to dox the location, all they would reveal is that it's a new age, hippie crystal store. Their words, not mine. And despite their attempts to conceal the location from the rabid Christorians, it was found almost immediately. It was also revealed that this was not the first time Chris Chan had been there. In fact, it was the 3rd. This was just the only time they were able to capture a picture of him. Being as he's concealed the Sonichu medallion beneath his shirt, I would say that he's trying to go incognito here, even dyeing his hair a bright teal color. Another thing the user was more than happy to point out was the unbearable stench coming off of Chris, saying that he smelt like a mix of bad BO and actual human feces. And with him having a long history of what he calls dirty crapped briefs, I do not doubt it for a second. The Reddit user stated that the stench was so unbearable that they had to breathe shallowly when they were checking out Chris. His terrible hygiene is legendary, stating in the very far past that he wouldn't shower, he'd just spray down with cologne. It had the same effect. Chris spent a lot of his jail time in isolation, where the guards don't even have to get close to you, they just feed you through a hole. And the prison guards rarely make people shower, it's often the other prisoners that hassle the other people that just stink awfully into bathing. And without that social pressure, I highly doubt that he did a lot of hygienic things while in jail. Jail has also severely impacted Chris's mental health. It wasn't anything to write home about before he went into jail. I mean, Jesus, let's look at the charge he was writ up on. But the user who captured a picture of him the 29th said that Chris was walking around the store mumbling to himself the whole time. Also smelling terribly. I think that this is a big indicator of where Chris is at in his life right now. He smells terribly, he's mumbling to himself, he's buying all these crystals, he's talking to Sonichu most definitely. Things have not gotten better, and we all assumed that. Spending a year in jail will affect a person terribly. They become used to the social norms and the schedule of the prison. And with Chris being A, someone who deals terribly with things in his life changing, and B, having very little concept of social norms, I would say it's been fairly hard for him ever since he got out of jail, and the stench and the speaking to Sonichu says a lot to me, because when Chris is feeling uncomfortable, he will retreat into himself and the fantasy land where he is safe. Sonichu's not going to tell him that he smells bad, which is why I truly never see this dimensional merge talking to Sonichu's phase ever ending. It's too effective of a cope mechanism for him. If you need any further proof of this, just look at how he signed his name when he checked out the 29th. Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu. For those of you familiar with Chris's infamous jail letters, this is a very common occurrence. After being locked up in solitary, I would say Chris's access to media as a whole was severely limited. And holy texts like the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible are widely accessible there. And whenever Chris shows a true liking to some form of media, he has to incorporate it into his own headcanon. That's why there's Pokemon in Quickville, that's why there's Sonichus, that's why there's My Little Pony. And he must have really enjoyed reading the Bible, because shortly after entering the jail, he began to refer to himself as Jesus Christ Chan Emmanuel. All this other stuff, it's fluctuated over the time. I think that he's just writing Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu because it looks the cleanest. The cashier would report that Chris Chan would return the very next day, and they would capture more photographs of him, but we haven't heard anything more out of them. might have something to do with them inadvertently doxing their place of work to a community of trolls. And though that may be the end of that Redditor's photographs, another user of r/ChrisChanSonichu posted this the 30th. This time playing Magic the Gathering at a local tabletop gaming store. Again, the user would try to conceal the identity of the location, and again it would quickly be found out by the trolls. In the last photograph, they matched the ceiling to the ceiling of that in a Google review photo, and they did the same thing with this one, but with the chairs. Christorians are no joke. They will pick apart everything for any piece of information. It's really astounding. One thing of note about this photograph is how much like his mother he looks here. I know it's very messed up to say that, but the older he gets, the more he looks like Barb, I swear to God, especially when she was Snorlaxed out. Another observation I've made is the time of all of these sightings, photographed 3 times at the beginning of the month, and twice at the end of the month, making it 26 days from when he was sighted at the Chesterfield Mall to when he was photographed at this New Age crystal store. It would seem that these sightings are linked to the times that he receives government assistance. At the beginning of the month, the government pays him for his disabilities. Another thing Chris is infamously terrible with is money, squandering not only his parents' entire life savings once his father died, but also any penny that any white knight will give him on Lego, My Little Pony, etc. At the beginning of the month, he was cited purchasing a Switch for Christ's sakes, almost certainly to play the new Sonic game he missed out on while he was in jail. Even when he went to jail, the begging didn't stop. He still begged through the letters he sent out. I am almost certain that him appearing at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month is going to be a pattern just based off of how poorly he has managed his tugboat in the past. A lot of people thought that this was the end of Chris Chan. They thought we'd never see him again. Hell, I even thought that. But the more and more we're seeing, it seems like we've just entered into a whole new saga. And that's really all I have for you guys here today. We're going to keep you updated on the Chris Chan stuff. I know this is a little shorter of a video, but I'm going to keep them to around this size. That way we can get the updates out fast and on time. Please let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what I can improve. Just let me know how your day's going. I love you guys' YouTube comments. It's one of my favorite things to go through and read them. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night, and be sure to keep it Kiwi.
Don't call anybody.
And that was the bar too.